In this video, I will explain and solve problem set 3, outdated. In this problem, we want to implement a program that prompts the user for a date in month, day, year order, formatted like this or like this, where the month here should be one of the values in our list. And let's put the list here, list of the months. Yeah, then output that same date in year, month, day format. If the user's input is not a valid date in either format, prompt the user again. And we also should assume that every month has no more than 31 days. So let's start with making a while loop. And take input from user and store it in a variable called date. Input. So our first format, or one of the formats, is this one, which contains backslash, forward slash. So this date format has forward slash separating the month from the day from the year. So let's first work on this format, and to check if that's the format, let's make an if statement. So if the forward slash is in our date string, here we will store the month and the day and the year in variables, in 3 variables. And let's start with the month, because in this format we are starting from month, then day, then the year. So month, day, month, day, year, and they are going to be assigned to date dot split forward slash yeah, forward slash. So what this code does is it accesses the string. For example, if that's the date that the user inputs, this line or this function, the function split, will make 3 strings. The first one is 9, then 8, then 1732, and assign each one of those to month. So month will be equal to 9, day will be equal to 8, and the year will be equal to 1732. Let's also make the condition. So else if we found a comma. So now we are making the program work for our second format, which is September space 8 comma 1636. So if we found comma in our date variable, so if that's the case, let's actually copy this code, this line, and paste it here. But this time we will split according to space. So if there's a space, the string will be splitted. So the first will be September, then 8 comma, and here comes a problem. We want to remove this comma, so there is a way to do so using the replace method, date dot replace, and let's type what we want to replace. We want to replace the comma with nothing actually, so that this line removes the comma from our string. So now our date is ready to be splitted by space. So this line removes this comma. So let's just remove so you can imagine what happens. So this how the date is seen in this line. So in this line we will split according to space. So the first variable month will be assigned to September. The second variable, which is day, will be assigned to 8, and the third and last variable, year, is going to be assigned to 1636. But notice that here we store the month as a string. So what we want to do is to store the equivalent number of months. So to understand, January is the first month, February is second, and so on. So if we have, for example, September in our month, we want to replace it with the number of the month. So September will be 9. So there is a way to do so. Let's actually first check if month is on our list. As mentioned in the problem, we have to check if it's written as the values here in the list. So Jan, so if the user only type JAN, this shouldn't work. So if month in our list months, we want to reassign our month variable to its index, but we will also add 1 to it because in Python or in programming in general, we start counting from 0. So month will be equal to the index of month in the months list plus 1, and this should be enough. Our program isn't completed yet, but let's print the date in the format the year, month, day. So let's print year, and let's separate each one of them with a hyphen plus month. Well, we have to add the break after each if statement. So after getting the values of the month, day, year, and storing them in variables, we want to break so we can print our year, month, day, because otherwise the while loop will run forever. So we add break here, and also let's add break here. Let's continue our print function. So year, month, then day. Okay, let's test and see what's missing. The date, for example, 8, 9, 16, 36. The output should be month 9, the output should be 9, 8, 16, 30. No, no, no. I'm sorry, the output should start from the year. So 1636, then the month, which is 8, then 9. Okay, great. So that's working, but there's still something missing. Here we want to add a 0 before the 8 and the 9. So in order to do this, we will use if string. So let's adjust our print statement and add this to year, month, and day. Okay. So the format we want to do is to add a 0 before the month and the month number and the day number. So and the way to do it is to add 0 and 2. This will not work actually, and I will tell you why in a second, but let's run the program. Let's try the same example, 1636. Yeah, and here comes the problem. So to make this work, we need to make month and day integers, and also day should be an integer. And we actually do not need to make any edits to the year. So now the format should be correct. Let's try and run again. 8. Now it's working. So our program is not yet finished because we didn't handle any errors that might evaluate. For example, if we run and we type, for example, 34 in the month, which is not valid, and in the days we write 50, so this will work and will not evaluate any error to the user, or in our case we should reprompt the user to enter a date. So let's get back to our while loop and try to handle the errors that the user might make. So let's make an if statement to check if the month is more than 12 or if the days are more than 31. And if either of this or that happens, we want to reprompt the user to enter a date. So if month is okay, let's actually make it int because month is here is a string, and here we want to compare it with a integer. So if month is more than 12 or if a day more than 31, we should continue, and continue will just end this iteration and start a new iteration. And what else? Yeah, if that's not the case and everything is fine, the month is less than 12 and the days are less than 31, we will just break. And let's remove break from here. We want to remove break from here because it will prevent us from checking if the month is more than 12 or the days are more than 31. So we'll remove the break from here and from here, and that in this line it will just do as we want. So I think this now should work. Let's try again. I don't think you can see. Let's clear the screen, run again, and try in the month. Let's try 14 days. Let's try it 50, and anything in the year. This should prompt me again for the date. Now that's working. We actually haven't tested the other format, which is this. So let's try and see if this also works. September 8, 1636. That works. So what also is missing? Let me think. Yeah, we actually didn't handle every error. So what if the user, for example, inputted the date in this format? September, and the days are anything 20, for example, and any year. So this should reprompt us for the date. But it's not the case here. And why? Because because here we are trying to convert the month string to an integer, and since we have a string, not a string, since we don't have a digit in the month string, this will evaluate an error. So let's now try. Okay, let's now, we can here use the try and except. So we'll try this code. If anything, not anything, if we found a value error, we will also continue. So we reprompt the user again for a date. I think this works now. So let's give it a try. May 23 or 22, then any year. See, now that's working, because May here isn't a digit, so an error will evaluate here, because you can't convert a string which contains things other than digits to an integer. So the exception here, value error, will evaluate, and continue will end this iteration and will start another iteration. So I think that's all, but let me think for a moment and see if anything is missing. Yeah, I think that's all. I really hope that makes sense. If not, and if you have any question, please leave me a comment down below. And before ending the video, let's try the examples given in the problem. And our first example is, let's clear the screen. Run. First example is 9/8/1636. This should output the year 1636, then the month 09, then the days 08. That works. Let's try our second example, which is September 8, 1636. This should output the same output as the last example. Great, that's also working. Yeah, that's the examples given in the problem, I mean. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching, Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.